I slightly cheated on my boyfriend. How do I regain his trust and save our relationship?
Well, anyone can be saved if they're holy enough. But let's find out.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Am I the Devil?
And am I an angel?
You are.
And I am.
I made a terrible decision and I completely regret it. I've taken some important lessons about boundaries, transparency, and honesty. I think these lessons can help him feel secure and safe with me. To start off, setting boundaries. I got to this point because I didn't see appropriate boundaries. Does that mean that he didn't tell you that he doesn't want you to cheat on him? I don't know if that's a boundary that needs to be set.
It's a given.
I think it's self-explanatory.
The boundary is there's a boundary that, yeah.
My boyfriend didn't like this guy because he was much older, married, and mostly because he kept flirting with me. I told my boyfriend he needs to be okay with me having guy friends, just like I'm okay with him having girlfriends. He told me he's okay with my guy friends, but not the one that's constantly flirting with me and that I just met him. Which, looking back on it, is a fair statement and would have avoided this situation.
Tale as old as time. Can people of the opposite sex be friends?
I think they can, but I feel like more often than not, there's unspoken feelings there. In this case, there are spoken feelings because he keeps flirting with her.
Unlike boundaries, which are unspoken.
Okay, so transparency. The guy my boyfriend didn't like is wealthy, which makes sense. He's much older and his wife also makes good money. He invited me out to this really nice restaurant. My boyfriend takes me to nice places too, but mostly on special occasions because of finances. But this guy took me to a nice Michelin star restaurant, and I wasn't transparent to my boyfriend about where and who I was with, which in the future, I will be 100% transparent.
It's a little sus.
I think that's like the bare minimum, honestly.
You're going with some random guy to a Michelin star restaurant?
Yeah.
Didn't tell your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sus. But hey, I'm trying to have a holy mindset. I'm trying to find the good in everyone.
Yes, that's your role that you must play.
But right now, fighting the urge to send you south.
And for the record, for those of you who are like, I don't know why you're taking the side. The point is we're debating. We are debating. We're trying to see the good and the bad in everyone. I always see the bad.
You're just horny for being bad, like horny. Horn.
YouTube, no yellow dollar signs. So the biggest thing is I felt obligated to flirt back, and I have to recognize that I'm never obligated to do anything because someone is being nice. After the dinner, which was amazing, we went to this great rooftop bar, got a hookah, and we kissed.
Oh, is he just being nice now?
Yeah, he was just being nice. He kissed me.
As one does when you're in a committed relationship with someone else.
Boundaries also need to have been set with that older man as well. Quite frankly, you shouldn't have even gone on a dinner date with someone that's not your boyfriend.
Yeah, that's a little sus. I don't know if I have room for you on my cloud, but I'm really trying here.
We're not done yet. He wanted to take things further, but I couldn't betray my boyfriend like that. So we just kissed and then he took me home. When my boyfriend asked me about it, I was not the most honest. From this point forward, he gets 100% honesty. I don't know who told my boyfriend, but somehow he knew. I do have it narrowed down because I did a group FaceTime call to tell my friends about what happened, and they were the only ones who knew. I don't know why you're worried about who told him.
Why is that the problem?
Yeah, it's not the problem. You're the problem.
You are the problem.
It's 5 different people it could be, and my boyfriend won't tell me who told him about it. Well, that's the least of your worries, quite frankly. But that's a problem for another day. He wanted to break up, but I convinced him to give me time to fix this. The core issue is he says he can't trust me and doesn't want to be in a relationship where he has to doubt if his girlfriend is telling the truth when she says where she's going and who she's with, or feel the need to play detective, and he's not doing that. But he did graciously give me some time to make it right. He said that if I have a way to get him to trust me 100% and can go to sleep while I'm out and be confident that I'm not doing anything, he will take me back. So, anyone, especially people who face similar issues, what do you do to reassure your partner so they could trust you 100% and feel safe? Or what did your partner do? I honestly just think like long-term action, like long-term proof that you're never going to do it again. And you show that with time. Repeated efforts, not just like, oh, let me just do this one thing and then all of a sudden he will trust me again. Like, trust is earned, baby girl. She could give him her location.
Yeah, share your location at all times.
That's not good enough. Like, I think like repeated efforts to show up for him and to prove that you're trustworthy might make him forgive you eventually and trust you again.
I don't know. I think you have to just be fully honest with him.
Yeah, you have to be fully honest with him and fully take accountability as well. In your post, it kind of still sounds like you're not not entirely taking accountability.
Like, he was just being nice. He kissed me at a Michelin star restaurant.
A guy like that with that kind of money is taking you to a Michelin star restaurant because he wants to put his Michelin star in your restaurant. You know what I mean?
You have to be okay with the fact that he might never fully trust you again.
I know it's sad to say, but it's true. I mean, it's just a constant thing. It's going to take time. You have to deal with him being like irritated with you. Be like, no, I don't trust you. And you can't get mad because you screwed up. You're the one who effed up first.
There's no like just quick fix for betraying someone's trust. You have to slowly earn it back with action.
You also have to realize kind of how messed up it is.
Yeah, totally.
You can still have friends that are guys. If there was any other context, like it was a client or like I had to go for work or like something like that, even that, like, got to be open and honest. But like there's no context. He was flirting and being nice.
And then you thought that I'm going to go out for dinner with this guy without my boyfriend and not tell him.
And then being upset about who told him.
Yeah, literally.
What the actual frick? I can't swear because my boss, my father, but like, what the?
Even in the way that you said, I slightly cheated. Taking accountability means recognizing that kissing another person and going on a date with another person is cheating. It's not slightly cheating.
Kissing for sure.
Kissing for sure is cheating. First comment says, you cheated, not slightly cheated. I think it's important to realize that. To be honest, I'm not sure how someone can gain back trust after that, but it can be a lesson for the next relationship. Yeah, even in this day and age, like even cheating, like texting, even not like fully being in the same room as another person, but still making efforts emotionally cheat, that is also considered cheating. Actually, physical cheating is cheating 100%. And you not being able to recognize that is still a problem.
But the fact that she feels guilty and she's willing to repent, which is what I believe in, then maybe she can fix this relationship. But she has to understand that it's going to take time. She has to be patient. She's going to get frustrated, but do not slip into temptation. We have to be delivered from evil.
Yikes, OP. You might have to be okay with this relationship being done. This kiss was not the only thing that was messed up. 1, you didn't respect your boyfriend's initial concerns. 2, you made the choice to go out to a dinner with someone you knew was interested. A kiss happened. 3, you told your friends about what happened, but lied to your boyfriend. Yeah, and like there's another comment here that says the guy was married as well. So like you're not only screwing up your relationship, you're screwing up his relationship.
It's naive to be like, oh, he had a ring on, you know, like nothing bad could have happened, you know? He was just flirting and being nice. It's like...
I don't think that there's any reason other than business. If you're meeting like a colleague or a client or like a collaborator, I don't really think that there's any reason that should be you're going out to dinner with someone that you barely know.
Maybe there's something deeper in this. You're not getting what you want out of your current relationship. Maybe you just need more validation. Maybe that's something you need to talk about with your partner. Like get to the root of why you wanted to do that. Maybe it was lust, which I hope not. But if you truly love your boyfriend, then prove it. Take the steps. I think everyone can be forgiven for something. No matter how bad something is, you can be forgiven over time. You just have to really do the work and understanding why and accepting the consequences.
Or maybe you accept that you maybe can't repair this relationship because you broke trust, and you can learn from this and do better next time.
And if you really care about this guy, then you'll let him fly.
Honestly, just kind of the way that you're writing this, I feel like you're minimizing what you did. You don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. And I think that in order to be forgiven and to hang out with this lovely man over here,
Hello.
you need to take accountability. So until you do that, I'm sorry, but
You're hanging out with me.
Well, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. And I hope to see you later because I believe in forgiveness. I truly do. But you have to do the work.
you are the butthead, the butt face. You are the stinky. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my friend group for a horrible relationship advice that broke up my marriage? My main group of friends is 4 other women I met at university 10 years ago. We all met basically on the first week of the first year and stayed tight with each other. I used to think they were all badass and looked to them for advice for a lot of stuff, including relationships. I started seeing my now ex-husband 6 years ago. We got married 2 years ago, got separated 1 year ago, and now the divorce is final. A lot of the problems we had was me acting on what in hindsight seems like bad advice given to me by my friends. Examples. Just after our engagement, they convinced me I shouldn't change my last name or hyphenate it because it was old-fashioned and oppressive, even though Mark told me early on that it was an important thing to him. They planted doubts in my mind about how what originally I thought were innocent comments by his mom were jabs she was taking at me and pushed me to force Mark Mark to stand up for me to his mom. Convinced me that I needed to ration spicy time because some stupid reason that I bought into then that doesn't make sense now. Ration. Okay, that's a weird one. Convinced me that when we have kids, they should take my last name because I would be giving birth again and we shouldn't support old-fashioned traditions. I mean, those are a few weird reasons. Not all of them are weird, especially if his mom was making weird comments. With the last fight, Mark had enough and said he wanted out and initiated the breakup. I was devastated. I foolishly thought he'd never leave me because, again, my friends convinced me that I was way out of his league and that he would never leave me. Listen, your friend's advice is not be all end all. You're your own person and you can make decisions for yourself.
If your friends told you to jump off a cloud, would you jump off a cloud?
Right.
No.
I think at the end of the day, take your friend's advice, take it into consideration, especially if he's doing like really horrible things. If he's being a really bad husband or like he's treating you badly and they're giving you the courage to leave him. But it doesn't necessarily sound like these problems are worth a fight. Other than the mom thing, like I think that he definitely needs to stand up for you in that respect. But like the other things seem a little silly.
I just feel like when people start giving you advice about your relationship, they're not the ones in the room.
Totally.
They don't know what's going on.
Totally.
And those are very superficial kind of things,
Yeah.
like names and stuff. Ultimately, like if you love someone, you'll figure out some sort of compromise. Like how our kids are going to take my name.
We'll talk about this later. I decided that I can't be friends with these women anymore because not only did they give me really bad advice, but when each of them were married, none of them followed any of the advice that had been so important when they told me. They each took their husband's last names. They bent over backwards to get along with their in-laws. No rationing of the giggity goo. No more kids need to get mother's last name talk. I always love the quote, you should never take advice from people that you wouldn't want to be in their position. At the end of the day, they were not married and they were not giving advice from a place that was they're married. Like you should be asking your married friends and family. This pissed me off and I confronted them. I told them they were using my marriage as a playground to test their stupid relationship theories and they only started really thinking things through when it came to their own relationships. I told them I couldn't be friends with them anymore. You got to make your own decisions. Like you can listen to your friends and take their advice into consideration. I don't know. You're an adult. You can kind of make those decisions for yourself. They're saying I'm being unreasonable and they told me what they thought was best at the time and no one held a to my head. They've said now that they've been in the position, things are going different and they're saying it's a lot more important to go along and get along. That's true. I'm probably going to be regretting for the rest of my life not using enough of my own judgment in my own life decisions. But the thought that I had a good guy that I pushed away because of their advice is just too much for me. Would I be the a-hole for cutting them loose? I mean, you wouldn't be the a-hole for cutting them loose, but you can't be blaming them for your own decisions that led you to this point.
It's like a very drastic thing to do. I think you can listen to them, but not take their advice. Someone says when you marry someone, your wife or husband becomes your immediate family. So they are basically everything, and then everyone else is on the next level out. I think you have to compromise. You always want to do things that make your partner and yourself happy, right? Like you're not like serving them and doing like everything they say, but their happiness is important to you. You should be doing things that help your relationship. And I think that listening to your friends can be good sometimes, but ultimately, if you want to have a happy marriage, you have to talk and compromise.
When it comes to asking your friends for advice about your relationship, let's just like also make sure that can't be solved by, let's say, maybe actually talking to your husband first about these problems if you're feeling some type of way. I also find that sometimes when I like tell my friends things that are going on in my relationship, they only hear the negative, right? Because you're venting, you know, like they don't see all the positives. And so they have this kind of skewed perception of your relationship. And like, mind you, if you're telling them things like you're in a bad situation, can't be debated, it's a bad situation, if you know what I mean. That's different. You should always be telling other people what's going on. Little things that are kind of like, there's no point in bringing them up. Don't be telling your friends like everything when you could easily just work out these things with your husband. Because then they're coming from a place of giving you advice to get you out of what seems like to them as a very unhappy marriage, right?
Because people only know what they see or what they're told. If you bicker in public and you complain a little bit, then they just think that your relationship is dysfunctional and they think that like you got to get out of that relationship or like stand up to this person.
I always have this very specific friend that I go to for relationship advice, and she gives it relationship advice that comes from like a place of love. Well, she's your friend, so figure it out. Or like, well, you're going to marry the guy. You got to figure it out. He loves you and you got to figure it out. It's never like quick to judge sort of point of view. She's always from a place of like, let's solve this. And is it really worth a fight? And I love going to her for advice like that because she's always trying to help me solve the problem instead of like pick fights, you know? It's interesting how OP's sort of blaming everyone else except herself, but let's see if the comments have the same read. You're the a-hole for not owning your life and decisions like a grown woman. And if you think your marriage fell apart because you didn't change your last name and ask your husband to stand up to his mom, then the marriage wasn't strong in the first place. That's a very good point. All of these things seem very little. I feel like maybe the relationship ended. And like, obviously I don't know for sure, but like if you're causing like little fights over really like this, I would get pissed off with you too. If you decided to ration giggity time for no reason, that is 100% on you. First, I don't even believe that your friends told you to do that because it doesn't make any sense and they're not doing it themselves. And second, it's so obviously a ridiculous idea and you should have known better. Silly. You're right. Part of being an adult and making adult decisions is recognizing bad and hypocritical advice and making your own choice whether to follow it. It is so blatantly obvious from the letter that you're just desperately looking for someone to blame for your marriage falling apart and desperate to believe it was nothing to do with you or your husband. Your friends seem like a convenient scapegoat right now. Go ahead and cut them out if they're malicious people who purposely give you bad advice or hypocritical advice. But do yourself the most important favor of your life and take a hard look at yourself, or the next time won't be any better. That was harsh.
Sometimes you need some harsh criticism.
Tough love. Okay, so here's an important comment, which I think goes more to like what I said about the venting to your friends thing. I also have to wonder just how much of the advice was unsolicited and how much of it was in response to OP complaining or venting about things. Like so many of those things are so personal, I couldn't imagine talking about it to my close friends. Name changes, withholding spicy time, and about the mother-in-law, how would the friends even know about comments the mother-in-law said unless OP was telling them? That's a very good point. So you're kind of sharing, like talking badly about your relationship to your friends, and they probably had a very skewed perception of what your relationship was really like.
The unsolicited is such a key in this comment because we've had people say unsolicited things, give us unsolicited advice, and that means that it's about them and not about you. Maybe they see something, again, like they're not in the relationship. They don't know how good it is.
No, they don't. They don't know how good it is. Like maybe they've met you like a couple of times or whatever. Just be careful about what you share and make sure that you're also talking about the good things too if you do want to vent about your relationship or your friends. I don't think that they would have had the ammo to suggest those things if you didn't complain in the first place. So you didn't do anything horrible. You didn't really cheat. You didn't commit a crime or anything. You are just looking for a reason to blame the things that have gone badly in your life on other people. I feel like this one in purgatory maybe.
I want to make room for you, but I think like right now you should go into purgatory because I'm not quite sure what to do with you.
Yeah, you didn't do anything like overtly horrible, but you're also not taking accountability. I think that all people can be forgiven as well, but you need to take accountability first.
You were clearly telling your friends some tea about him. So, I mean, maybe their perception of him was very negative because of you. And maybe you did it on purpose. Maybe you weren't in your happy marriage. You subconsciously sabotaged yourself.
Maybe, yeah. It's not tea, you know? Maybe you really didn't like certain things about your marriage, or maybe you were a little too critical, either or, but maybe the marriage was doomed anyway, because why would you be venting about those things if you didn't like them in the first place? How do I, 32 male, apologize after accidentally offending my friend, 28 male? Disclaimer. I just want to be clear, I find cheating abhorrent and didn't encourage my friend to cheat. Anyone who cheats is a disgusting pig. Recently, I made a new friend. Him and his wife just bought a condo and we stay in the same building. When we met, we just clicked. Just 30 minutes ago, I offended him and he left me here at the bar. We decided to grab happy hour. See, he was telling me a story about how long him and his wife have been together and how they've been going steady since freshman year of high school. I can tell he loves his wife and they are apparently thinking of trying for a baby. Now, I get he thinks he loves his wife, but he never really got to test things out.
Is this going where I think it's going?
His wife is the only person he's been with, and my advice to him is to test things out before having a baby. Okay, hang on. Not to cheat, but just get to know other women so he knows if this is actually his person.
What? Sorry. Something very interesting about a close friend of ours' parents. This is very interesting. Okay, so what they did was they were together for so many years, but before they got married, they took, I think, a 6-month break. they told each other, like, you know what, let's just like see other people and let's just see what happens after 6 months. Like they had been together forever. And turns out after like 6 months, they didn't even talk to anybody else. They went on like one date each and they came back to each other and they've been married for like 40 years.
Were they married?
They hadn't been married yet.
So that's the difference here.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I totally agree with it. And I have seen it work. And I have seen people come together and like realize that they were meant for each other. But I think it's a little late for that, especially if they're trying for a baby. Like, talk about giving bad advice to a friend. If he hasn't expressed to you these feelings, then why are you trying to stir the pot? Like, it just kind of sounds like you're like a little jealous of this man's connection. You don't need to like sample every flavor to know what flavor you like.
You don't drink every wine to know that you like wine.
Right, exactly.
You drink like 3 or 4.
I think it's a very strange way of thinking, and you're projecting how you feel about love and relationships onto someone else who's figured it out, quite frankly. Normally, I wouldn't recommend it, but this is an unusual circumstance. He thought I was encouraging him to cheat. You are.
Buddy, my brother in... You are, okay?
You are. Going on dates and talking to other women with the intention of like seeing if there's potential there, that is cheating. He said I'm disrespecting his relationship. As I tried to explain, he ignored me, paid his tab, and left. I'm going to probably give him some space, but would love some ideas on when or how to talk to him when I see him. I honestly think that you guys just have very different values. You're concluding that he's a man like you, like a man that needs to sample all the gelato. But the point is, you guys have completely differing values, and you just told him to cheat on his wife. What the
Does that mean that he doesn't like my wife? You know what I mean? Like, he's just uprooting this whole dynamic. And from now on, it's like, how can he ever trust you? Like, why would you say that?
It sounds like he's a good man and you're not.
Yeah. And the fact that you came up to Reddit 28 minutes after to be like,
No, I'm not a murderer. You gotta try. You gotta make sure that you know that one's the right one.
You're never gonna know. This is the thing. This is like the grass is always greener mentality. Like, just because you're getting to know other women, you're getting to know the like bullet point spark notes version of them. You're never gonna know or think that they're better than what you already have.
Exactly. A great way to think about it is, as we are writing our vows right now, think of your partner in terms of absence. What would your life be like without them? And for me, it'd be cold and sad.
Mine will be far less funny and cute.
I love you so much. Oh, that was cute. It was a kiss break. Kiss break. Taking a kiss break. We're taking a kiss break. Yeah. I think by reading this, you have a very skewed perception of what love means and what committing to one person means. Some people don't need to screw everyone in town to know who's the best one for them. I think that it just sort of sounds like your values don't align. You can apologize like profusely and say sorry for offending him and, blame yourself and be like, I'm sorry, it's my own issues with like commitment. It's my own issues with like, take accountability for why you said what you said and don't expect him to forgive you. Really don't. But yeah, he has a right to be offended by what you said. You told him to cheat on his wife. And at a time when he's, probably so in love with her that they're like trying to bring a person into this world, the least you can do is apologize, and you should do that regardless.
I agree. I mean, why jeopardize your friend's happy marriage? Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's some jealousy. Maybe there's a subconscious need to sabotage his relationship because once they have a baby, like your camaraderie is different. Like the dynamic is different.
Yeah,
you know
that's a good point. Going back to what we were talking about in the last story, like this is an example of very bad unsolicited advice. This man stood on business, like I'm talking about like the man in the story, not you. You did not stand on business. But the man in the story stood on business. He knew his values and he knew that what you said was inappropriate and offensive. And like you need to be able to recognize when advice is bad advice. And this is genuinely very bad advice. Horrible advice.
In fact, I'm almost willing to give this man to you.
I think you're kind of a...
And I'm really trying to see, like, maybe this man is sad and I have empathy for it.
Sad and lonely, but again, like, just because you're sad and lonely does not mean that you have a right to, like, tell people to cheat. Yeah.
It's very true.
You don't even realize what cheating is. Like, you genuinely think that talking to a bunch of women when you're in a marriage with someone else is fine, and it does not cheating. That's messed up. Like, I'm sorry. I feel bad for the woman who's going to marry you if you find someone to marry you, because, like, you basically think that going around and talking to other women is totally fine.
There are people, I will say, because I'm an open-minded thinker. I live in the clouds where there's less inhibitions. Open relationships are a thing, right? And maybe that's the kind of thing that this person is into, and that's totally fine as well. As long as you and your partners have consent and you are open and honest about that, then that's fine. But like, this person's very different from you, and don't try and project your own desires and your own values onto them. Like, they believe in monogamy and, you know, having a tight-knit family, and you can still have a tight-knit family as well with an open relationship. It's just like, don't try and convince this other person. Maybe there's something about his beliefs. He's like, yeah, maybe he's like having second guesses about his lifestyle. You know what I mean? And like, are you sure you want to do this?
It's all about how OP feels about himself. So whether that's he has commitment issues or he's jealous, he wishes he had what this man had.
I actually kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for him too.
Because maybe he doesn't know what he wants.
It's such an empty way to live. Like, I'm sorry. I still think
he's still a dick in this situation. Remember what my role is in this video.
It's to see
Remember,
the good in everyone.
don't come at me. This is my role in this video. I'm trying to be angelic.
Let's look at the comments. It's not an unusual circumstance. There's lots of people that marry their high school sweetheart or have been with one person only. It doesn't sound like he's having any doubt, so it is offensive and unusual for you to be offering advice like that unprompted. Agreed. Unsolicited, unprompted. None of your business, dude. Also, quotation, I get he thinks he loves his wife. Oh yeah. Thanks. Again, just because she's the only person he's been with does not mean he automatically is unsure of his feelings. You're essentially telling him to go make sure just in case, even though he's already married and committed. Only way to get through this and maybe salvage things is if you apologize for your behavior and explain why it was wrong.
Maybe he was just thinking like, you know, you're my best friend and I want to make sure that you're happy forever. You know what I mean? But still, even still, man, that's messed up.
No, I'm sorry, but the grass is not greener. Like, it really isn't. If you get to know another person, you're getting to know very, very, like, just the highlight reel of that person. You're never going to know fully what that person is like until you're in a relationship with them, until you've lived with them, you've had fights with them, you've had conflicts, how you resolve those conflicts. You are never going to know a person you have a 5-minute conversation with is better than your wife. You're just not.
Lust is a crazy thing.
Yeah, it is. What exactly were you hoping this would accomplish? Because what you're suggesting is cheating, even though you claim to abhor it. What exactly do you think cheating is? A, emotional cheating is putting yourself out there to try and feel what it is to date is cheating. It's not always physical. B, pushing the reasonable boundaries accepted within a committed relationship is cheating and encouraging cheating to happen. What you suggested to your friend is that they put themselves out there to feel what it's like to explore other relationships, which will tempt them to cheat. Seriously, apologize. Say you're insensitive for not accepting that emotional cheating can damage a relationship just as much as physical cheating. And you didn't understand that emotional cheating or putting yourself out there is a way to tempt a person to cheat. And then they accept they will probably never talk to you again. You literally encouraged him to test the strength of his marriage by talking to other women to see if he feels he made the right choice. And what would have happened if he found someone else? You would have encouraged him to cheat. He's married. He made the choice. What is wrong with you? I wholeheartedly agree with this, and let's maybe get like a quick little refresher on what cheating actually is, because it kind of sounds like you don't really know. And before you get into a relationship, you should find out. Because I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who thinks it's okay to like go around and like test things out with other women just to be sure.
Like, it would have made sense pre-wedding, like to say that. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying to bring it up even. Be like, hey, look, bro, like you've been with the same girl for 8 or like 9 or 10 years.
Let me just clarify. It would have made sense pre-wedding as long as both him and his wife were on the same page. It's not like if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't want to like date other people. You should break up with the person you're in a relationship with or hope that they feel the same way and you can try and open things up. But no.
Not everyone wants to try everything, you know? I'm honestly jealous of people like that who like find their soulmate and then they just know.
I know, it's rough out there, man. Like, it's not fun to have to like go and, I mean, in the end, you kind of do find out what you don't like, but there's like, it's a very, very long road to find the person that is right for you. And it's all about timing, and you found a shortcut, and like, you didn't need to like go around and screw everyone in town to find out what you like.
Sometimes, you know what I find? It's like kind of like gambling, you know? You got to know when you've really struck gold. Pull out.
Leave the table.
Leave the table, yeah.
Exactly. And maybe, you know, the guy in the story has, and I'm sure he has, because he feels offended about the idea of ever talking to another woman and treating his wife like that.
He won big on his first hand, all right?
Totally. But guess what? It's time to cash out.
Cash out. Leave the casino. It's time.
Cash out, babes.
Subscribe!